What's going on, guys? We're back with another one. Today we're gonna go over 5 common mistakes that so many dog owners do that I really have to fix a lot of problems because of these mistakes. So I'm gonna save you the trouble of not having to go through this. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, guys. We have made a commitment to bringing you guys all this nice long form content, and we hope that you guys make sure to get it all so you can learn it all and learn the Cali K9 way of doing things. So number 5, the first thing we want to address is dog parks. Now, so many people think that dog park socialization is the way to socialize a dog. I am all for socializing your dog, but you have to remember, you need to make sure that your dog has the proper introduction to dogs, and a lot of times the dog park can just be a big problem. I started my business 15 years ago at Butcher Dog Park in San Jose off Camden, and that park was literally a crazy war zone almost every day at some point. Now, a lot of times dogs can do fine, but what happens is you deal with possession aggression, you deal with dogs who are a little dominant, you deal with owners who aren't paying attention, you deal with dogs that are getting bullied, and you need to realize when a dog is not having the best experience, and sometimes people are just into their iPad or their phone or whatever the case may be. So I highly encourage you, if you're gonna have socialization groups, make sure it's a controlled play group with a dog that's been vetted to make sure that they played it well together and that they can go to new places together where it's not so crazy with so many other dogs. And a lot of times you have to find like a smaller dog park and maybe set up like a meetup group with a controlled setup. If it doesn't work out, you need to be able to make sure that you can go ahead and leave the park and not put your dog through a bad situation, because I've seen dogs get beat up, I've seen dogs do the beating up, I see a lot of pit bulls and bullies get the short end of the stick because they're gonna be the most dominant and the most confident and the best fighters if something does go down. A lot of times there's shared balls and shared water and shared toys in there, so sometimes that can create a possession aggression that can turn into a confrontation. Sometimes you're dealing with just sanitation. You don't know if a dog has been having all his vaccinations and all that. So of course you have your vaccinations, but sometimes you get Bordetella and kennel cough, things like that. So I just try to be careful with dog parks because there is a lot of risk for the amount of reward that you get. And again, we want socialization, but we want good socialization. So with that being said, we have number 4, and that is dogs not getting enough exercise. So oftentimes we have dogs that have high energy levels. Some of our dogs have been bred for working jobs, and energy with no job, just like a kid, a busy kid with a lot of energy, they're gonna go do stuff like write, paint on the wall and doing things like that if they're just busy. So you need to make sure that you give your dog proper stimulation. A lot of times that could come through training, it could come through walking, it could come through just playing, it could come through playing fetch in a controlled setting, maybe even on leash. You can do swimming, you can have your dog, chase you around, you can chase different toys and balls and all that kind of stuff. But get the exercise, but be careful, as I mentioned before, dog parks, sometimes, it will exhaust your dog if it is a good play session. I agree, 100%. But you want to make sure that you don't sacrifice your dog's temperament and experience for some exercise when there's alternative ways to exercise your dog. So I highly recommend, guys, that you exercise your dog because it really takes down the behavior issues, and you end up not having a dog that's just getting into everything because they've got a lot of that energy exhausted. A big mistake that people do, number 3, is going to be thinking that all dogs are the same. Again, each dog's temperament is different, just like people's temperament is different. Some people have more energy than others. Some people are more confrontational than others. Some people are more social and comfortable. So dogs are very similar like that, guys. So you have to understand that each dog is different. Even if you have a Rottweiler, your old Rottweiler is not necessarily like your new Rottweiler, and it's not necessarily like the Pit Bull or the Shar Pei or the, whatever breed you have, they're not always gonna be the same. And don't think that your last dog was supposed to be like your new dog, and don't think that your dog is social in a certain way, that this dog is supposed to be as social. Biggest way that people get in trouble, make sure you understand your dog's temperament, and there's 16 dimensions of temperament. And when you talk about temperament, it really defines who the dog is and what the dog is all about, all the characteristics in its personality. And what I like to do is look at that first before I even look at the breed, and it tells me a lot about what I'm seeing at face value. So don't think 2 dogs are the same, because they're not, and make sure to learn your dog and learn your dog's temperament It's very important. If you want to know my 16 dimensions of temperament, it's the indoor activity level, outdoor activity, vigor and intensity, emotional stability, behavior consistency, dominance with dogs, dominance with people, sociability with family members, sociability with strangers, sociability with kids, territoriality, guard dog ability, watch dog ability, learning rate, learning of obedience, and learning of problem solving. So those are the 16 dimensions of temperament. So there's no way all 16 are gonna be exactly the same with 2 dogs. Just remember that. So a big one, number 2, is gonna be lack of research. Make sure you know what kind of dog you're getting. If you are not a high energy person, don't go getting a Belgian Malinois, or don't go getting a Jack Russell Terrier or a Pit Bull, right? You need to make sure that you have a lifestyle that can accommodate the dog's temperament. Otherwise, your dog will become destructive. There might be more anxious, right? So if you have a dog, for example, like a cattle dog, right? A blue heeler. Well, you need to make sure you're double down on that socialization, which means you need to be out and about. Otherwise, you're gonna have a dog that's super duper nervous plus not getting socialized. Or if you have a big dog that has lots of energy and needs to get out, well, when they eat up your shoes and they start to mess up your house, you know, don't be mad because you didn't research the kind of dog that you have. So if you're gonna have a dog in your house, you need to research and know that the characteristics that this dog has, its type of temperament that it has, because it's gonna make sure that you guys have a successful companionship, right? You don't wanna live with a dog that's just stressing you out. You go to work all day to come home to a dog that's tore up your stuff and it's just a nuisance to have. You don't wanna have that. Understand your dog and then understand the proper way to train that particular type of dog. The great thing about the Cali K9 system is we train all different breeds. So once you understand the temperament, then you just basically put emphasis wherever you need to do based on that temperament. Because certain dogs are more confrontational, some dogs are more nervous. So again, you'll know how to work the dog and build the dog to be a very strong and balanced dog. The biggest number one thing that I think that people need to remember is they trust their dogs too fast, okay? Trusting your dog too fast is gonna make your dog, give your dog opportunities that you would not normally give them, and it puts them in a bad situation. If you trust your dog to just leave them out in the house, don't be surprised if you come home to a tore up house and poop all over the place, okay? If you don't socialize your dog properly, don't just go trust your dog to go hang out with other dogs, because they might be dominant. Once the dog is off leash, you just don't have control. And this is why you need to keep your dog on leash before going off leash. And until they're trained, sometimes trusting them too much you're gonna end up paying for it in the long run, whether it's tearing up your stuff, whether it's causing problems with other dogs, whether it's being a problem for other people. Remember guys, we have to be considerate of other people with our dog's behavior. We're responsible for our dog's behavior. I don't have a lot of incidences because I don't trust dogs until they've proven that they can be trusted. And that's just how I move. And that keeps me safe, that keeps my clients safe. That's how I keep other dogs safe in class. I make sure that other people have good experiences because I just go off what I see. And once I see it, then I can start trusting more. And it's just how I roll. It's the best way to roll. And until your dog is trained, then you don't want to just give too much opportunity because again, they might disappoint you and then it might affect others and it affects you, it affects the dog. Now you're mad at the dog because you let them do something that they weren't ready to do, guys. So don't trust your dog too early. And again, with training, you will be able to trust your dog. You will be able to take your dog to new places. You will be able to socialize your dog around everything. But remember guys, it's in a step-by-step type of way. By training in this way, you'll just end up with a better dog that had better experiences and they won't establish any bad habits. So guys, if you like this information, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, share it with your friends as well if you felt this valuable content was there for you. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Check out some of our offers right there in the description. You can get on our online training. You can get on one of our webinars and learn a lot more about Cali K9, or you can go ahead and just start training it, right? Because we have all the different options for everybody all around the world, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.